Thanks for hanging out with us today on Good Day State Line. Midway Village is known for their museum and Victorian Village, but did you know there's a dark side to the Victorian era? Lana Converso from Midway is here to give us a glimpse into that dark side. Hi, Lana.
Hi.
Thanks for coming and being a witch with me.
It's fun.
It's fun, right?
Yes,
That's exactly what I was
it
going to
is,
say.
yeah.
It's fun to be a witch sometimes.
Yes, it is.
So you're the director of marketing at Midway Village Museum, and there's something called the darker side of Victorian life that you guys are doing.
There is. On November 2nd, we're going to highlight the darker side in an event called Evening of Illumination. And a lot of people don't realize that spiritualism really had its roots in the Victorian era from about 1840 all the way into 1920. Seances is part of that movement, and it was really started actually by two sisters. They were the Fox sisters, and like I said, the 1840s.
That was a long time ago.
Long time ago. Seances, very popular. Obviously, it was a controversy. Some people really believed in them, some people didn't, and it was all about really talking to a deceased loved one or a person you may have known. And it was the Fox sisters, like I said, who really brought all that into the Victorian era.
So that's what you're going to talk about during this wonderful evening?
Yes, we're going to talk about that. In fact, people who come can participate in the seance and learn about what that was like as far as the tricks, too. There was some trickery involved in trying to make people think that they were, of course, talking to a loved one. But that's only part of it. Something else that's kind of interesting is we are going to talk about really casket making. The whole history about that is really rooted very much in Rockford with our furniture industry, because it was actually the furniture makers who would make the coffins back in the Victorian era, and we'll have someone out who actually right now is someone who makes caskets. So he's going to talk all about that.
Which kind of makes sense if you think about what a casket looks like. It almost looks like a table. Like a
yes, right. In fact, the wood resources, so they weren't wasting the wood. They were thinking of something else that they could build with that.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm sure you have more interesting stuff happening too.
Yes. So part of it is also readings by Edgar Allan Poe, a writer during this Victorian era. And one of his writings was The Raven. Very popular. Some people may have heard of it, some might not. But it's all about, again, spiritualism and mystery.
So is this a fun event that you like to participate in?
It's a fun event, but out in the village at night, I have to say there is an ambiance of mystery, intrigue, a little bit eerie this time of the year when dark falls and it's a little bit colder out. That's what we hear from people who have been to this event in the past, where just the atmosphere there at night, there's a little bit of an eerie feel to it.
This is something I definitely could not sign up to go to by myself.
Speaking of that, we do encourage adults to go to this because the nature of what the topics are and the fact that there's some mystery and eeriness about it. So
definitely a cool thing to do, especially it's the weekend after Halloween.
Yes,
so
it's
then,
right
maybe
Halloween.
like you're done with the candy and you want to just get a little more spook on.
Yes,
get it with Lana. So it's coming up this Saturday. It's from 6 to 8:30, and it's only $10 and $8 if you're a member, which is a steal.
Yes, it's very reasonable.
And you brought us a spooky poem that you wanted to read.
I did.
You're so great at participating in the Halloween theme, Lana.
So what I brought was actually the writing by Edgar Allan Poe. It is The Raven. Really, like I said, one of his most popular. Edgar Allan Poe was an American writer, and this is all about a raven's mysterious visit to a very distraught man. He has lost his lover. So the raven enters his life. And I'll go ahead and read a little bit of it. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I ponder, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door, "only this and nothing more." Ah, distinctly I remembered it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghosts upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, faintly I had sought to borrow From my books, Sir Cress of Sour, sour for the lost Lenore, for the rare and rated maiden whom the angels named Lenore, nameless here forevermore. So I'm going to have people look that up, Google it, come out to our event, find out what happens with the raven.
Awesome. Well, Lana, thank you so much. If people obviously wanted to come, where can they go?
They can go to midwayvillage.com and learn all about the event, or give us a phone call too.
Perfect. Well, thanks for stopping by. Have a happy Halloween.
You too.
Anita and Chantel have been real busy bringing their Halloween looks to life over there. Let's see how it's going. Up next, Michelle Markham sits down with Amanda and Darby of Team Hanpa. We'll be right back with more Good Day Stateline.